So welcome to session 4. We're moving along quite well, and you've been grasping certain concepts related to recruitment selection. And it's also important to associate these things with your personal experience. So in the last session, we covered an important topic, which is various employment and labor laws that specifically apply to recruitment and or selection and some onboarding after the fact. And I think the key takeaways were human rights, obviously, for fairness, equity, but also elements of AODA and other laws. So make sure that you, well, if you can go on the internet, go to the government websites for whatever jurisdiction you're interested in, Ontario, I hope, and federally, and just kind of look at some of those laws, or at least read some case kind of notes and any case studies, legal case studies you can get your hands on related to recruitment selection are always helpful, and I'll try to post a few. So we also kind of went into the idea of discrimination. We're going to do more of that later. Emotional intelligence, of course, and looking at the concept of stereotyping and bias and subconscious bias, etc. And that body of knowledge will evolve. You can't be an expert. You can't be the judge right now. I don't think I've tried to do that. I think just understanding what's right and wrong and the framework within which we can think about right and wrong, or indirect, direct discrimination, prejudices, and biases, that as you practice human resources, you become good at it. And in this case, specific to the context of when you're recruiting people, and also when you're selecting people, which I think is the biggest area where you can get into trouble or make mistakes. In this particular session, we're going to move on to a topic that is familiar. And again, for some reason, the textbook is covering material. It doesn't know that you've taken courses before, right? Textbooks are supposed to be standalone, but you've taken compensation, intro to HR, a number of courses that talked about the idea of job analysis and the resulting documents with your job descriptions and job specifications. So we kind of revisited that. And if you want to be really good in this area of job analysis, it takes practice. But remember, revisit your notes from the other courses. And I do recommend that you look at the way the Pay Equity Commission looks at jobs and competency specifically to rate, I guess, the relative worth or value of different jobs. And you're going to look at the National Occupational Classification, the NOC, to get a better idea. And the bottom line, just Google and get your hands on a lot of job descriptions for different jobs, maybe ones you're interested in, and get a feel for them. What's written, what's in them, what are the factors, sub-factors, responsibility, etc., duties, and credentials. So we kind of looked at that. We looked at or connected the idea of competencies and competency management to job analysis. And I think that should be a theme throughout your entire program, of course, is competencies, is minute individual competencies that you can look at from different views. In this case, of course, we're recruiting people, and we're recruiting based on what? Competencies, right? If you don't know what the competencies you require, then how the heck you find the right people? I think I've just done half the lecture right there, but just to kind of give you a flavor for what we're about to do. And again, we're going to keep talking about it from a perspective of talent management, not just recruitment selection. So read the notes that are after this, watch the recorded lecture, and go to the discussion board.